I will call the June 28th, 2021 school board meeting to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Anita, if you would do the roll call, please.
I am here. Chris Lau.
Here.
Rebecca Reber.
Here.
Brian Wopat.
Here.
Emily Zach.
Here.
Jennifer Deek.
Here.
Gary Dunlap.
Here.
And Cheryl Hancock.
Here. So with 7 of the 7 school board members present, I would declare a quorum. Approval of the agenda. I would note that the agenda has been published, distributed, and sent to the local media. With that in mind, are there any changes? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Anita, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Rebecca, motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Public participation. We do have one person wishing to speak tonight. Francis Brown wishes to speak about financials. Oh, they're gonna let you
I'm
do
Francis
it.
Brown. I just have not a big issue, but you have a finance committee of about 2 board members and an outside citizen. And I think the finance is a major part of the board's responsibilities. So instead of and then as part of the consent agenda, I think it should be on the agenda one meeting of the month instead of having that 2 board member committee. And so I think all board members should be involved. The finance is a very big part of your business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. And that concludes our public participation. Then we will move into the public hearing. And I don't know if we received any public comments before the deadline. Seeing none, then I will turn it over to Dr. Mueller for the public hearing.
Yeah, good evening. So, according to Wisconsin Statute 118.31B, it requires that we hold a public hearing in regards to waivers we are requesting from the Department of Public Instruction. So I spoke at our last board meeting about the 4 waivers that we are requesting, and those are, I'll just in review, is for our educator effectiveness, instructional hours. It is also for length of school day, and our health phy-ed, art and music instruction due to our virtual, allowing instructors in our elementary to teach those that maybe haven't in the past for our virtual school. So with that, we brought forth at our last board meeting information on those 4 topics, and tonight is the opportunity for anyone to speak publicly on these. And before you is a resolution for consent by the board this evening after hearing any public participation or that would come before you this evening. So, thank you.
And that the waivers are part of our consent agenda this evening.
Correct.
So, any comments or questions regarding those at this point in time? As Dr. Mueller said, there was a presentation at the last board meeting regarding this, and so it does appear on our consent agenda. Okay, and we did not receive anything from public as far as input.
Nope, we did not.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the next steps is after this evening, if the approval were to happen, then we go and submit our information to the Department of Public Instruction to waive those state statutes, so we are in compliance with the law.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, seeing no other comments or questions, we'll move on to District Administrator's report.
Yeah, I've 3 items tonight. First, just wanted to congratulate, we had some track and field participants at the state track meet this past weekend down at UWL. Kaden Banks actually placed within the shot put and discus. And then Raina Baumgart, Tanner Groshek at the 800 meters, and we had Kellen Lomas, pole vault, and they represented us down at the state tournament. So we thank them for, well, congratulations to them for getting to the hard work and dedication that to get to this qualify for the state tournament and for representing us. We thank them. Another Another item is, we did hold a community session on June 17th to gather input around the topic of diversity inclusion. We had approximately 17 to 20 attendees at that. And all the information from that input session, the presentation, and just the notes are on our district website for those that are interested in that. We want to make sure we're very transparent about all our work around that topic in the district. And also, the Holmen Area Foundation held its annual 18 Holes for Holmen Golf outing, which they had full attendance at that. It was a beautiful day, and we look forward to seeing the money that was raised between the foundation and our athletics department. So that's what I have for this evening. Thank you.
And of course, you weren't able to attend that because you were where again?
Yeah, well, I attended for a few hours, but then another is just, we want to congratulate our girls softball team. Emily Zek, who's on our board, was on that too. They played in the sectional final game down in Madison on last Wednesday, and they had a phenomenal season, and we're very proud of all those girls and how they represented our district once again. They did, came up against some very tough teams, Baraboo, DeForest, and came through with shutouts against those, and then came up against Sun Prairie, which is a tough contender, and I see that they are on a winning streak still, as of today, after 2 games at the state tournament, so they were tough, so, yeah.
Well, yes, and they were regional champs. I just wanted to note that for
Yep.
Emily. Congratulations. It was great
you.
to see them move on in just short 1 game, but,
Yep.
okay. Okay, any questions or comments? Then moving on to reports and discussion. Notification to parents and guardians of school-adopted student academic standards. This is an annual thing that we do, and it will be on the July 12th agenda.
Good evening. Exactly. Every year, school boards are required to notify parents of the academic standards that will be in effect for the school year. Part of that law states that the district can then notify parents via link on the district website, which we update every year. It's actually posted and updated under the instructional services portion of the district website. So this report and consent item is to provide notification to parents and guardians that the School District of Holmen has requested approval by the Board of Education to adopt the Wisconsin State Standards for English Language Arts and Mathematics, the Next Generation Science Standards, and then the Wisconsin Model Academic Standards for all other areas. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Okay,
Don't see
thank
any.
you.
Thank you. And then Julie will present information on the fund balance designation. And that is on this evening's agenda, but it is also an annual thing that we do.
Hi, good evening. Like Cheryl said, it is annual action that the board takes on the estimated fund balance designation. We are required to identify our estimates for June 30th of 2021 in the 6 funds listed on your screen. The issue paper explained what the difference is between spendable and non-spendable. And then I further provided the purpose off to the right within the chart here for you. This is an estimate. We have a lot of things that are still happening yet that will be posted back to June 30th. As a reminder, we have a 26 pay schedule for 78% of our teachers this year, and that is the first time that that has occurred. That's new this year. So we have both a 22 pay schedule and a 26 pay schedule. And there's actually 5 payrolls yet to book to June 30th that are being processed in the next couple of weeks. And so
Days.
that's different.
Yeah.
Well, you can post backwards.
Yeah.
So processed in the next couple of weeks, posted to June 30th. The general fund estimated fund balance total is currently $15,868,000. That is a little lower than you saw at the last Q3 budget revision. It does include some preliminary Q4 budget changes that will be brought to the board for final approval And it is a little lower primarily because we have more open enrollment out expense and more private school voucher expense than initially anticipated. So I'll share more information with you when we bring the fourth quarter budget revisions to you. That being said, special education is trending under budget a little bit, and as you know, they cannot end in a deficit fund balance. And so right now, we have budgeted a $6 million transfer to Fund 27, which is an expenditure out of the Fund 10. If that comes in lower, meaning we have to transfer less to special education, then that decreases our general fund expenses and would impact that fund balance positively. So also looking at that as well. So within the general fund, we do not have a non-spendable category of reserves. The restricted is our sinking fund balance and the funds that were reserved from the 2017 Safety and Security Referendum for the Briggs McHugh Road, $705,000 contribution. Sinking fund balance includes those operational referenda that were attached to the building of Sand Lake and Prairie View. There's also a little bit for middle school and when this district office was built balances. So those are reserved for future expenses for roofs and boilers and things like that that we plan for through the operational referenda to help support those needs down the road. So that is estimated just under $1.6 million. The committed is our post-employment obligations for retirees. The assigned fund balance is the estimated payroll benefits and other payables prior to our first state aid payment that would not come until September. So that's this is always on there. The number just changes a little bit every year. And then the unassigned and spendable, about $6.1 million. That's the line item that you would see change based on our financial audit. The above three will pretty much be what they are stated here, more or less. So that totals the 868 million in Fund 10. Next, we have the gift account. It is restricted in the sense that it can only be used out of Fund 21. We do reconcile the entire gift account balances. We have over 150 different gift accounts in the School District of Holmen. That reconciliation will take place basically after the audit, and then they get their starting balances to begin July 1, or when the students do come back. Those starting balances carry over in each of those accounts within Fund 21. As a reminder, that does now include the scholarship fund, which used to be in a separate Fund 72 trust. It was rolled in to Fund 21 beginning July 1 of last year, and it also includes those student activity accounts. We had about 5 of them at the high school. So we've talked about that before. GASB 84 required that those come into our gift account. So the balance there will be adjusted to include all of those things. Fund 30 is our debt service. We have a Fund 39 voter-approved debt service account, and the balance there is estimated at $3.1 million. That is reserved for future principal and interest payments on the bonds. Next is Fund 40, our capital projects fund. We estimate about $500,000 to be in that account as of June 30th, and that is the remaining money for the high school addition and remodel project as we finish out those contracts with Fowler and Hammer and Market and Johnson. So that's going to carry into 21-22 for just a little bit. And then Fund 50 is our food service. That's restricted for Fund 50. It's going to be about $900,000. I worked with Mike 2 weeks ago to revise his budget for the year because a year ago we had no idea. He had no idea. With the federal free breakfast and lunch and the increase in participation, he's trending very positively and estimating that his fund balance will, I think that's about $200,000 more than he thought it would be originally. So I'm talking 15 months ago. So we're looking at about $900,000 in Fund 50, and then the Community Service Fund, working with the Boys and Girls Club and supporting the programming there, we estimate that to be zero, but there may be some residual carryover fund balance, and then that just will go back to that program for next year. Are there any questions on fund balance designation?
Any questions? So for this evening, we would be approving those as part of the consent agenda. So, okay. And then I have a nutrition services staff increases.
Yep. I'm presenting for Mike Gaspar this evening.
I was looking for him.
Yeah, so he is at conference with his cooks right now. So he's been working the high school staff has been working sort of short a member, and they've been tracking all of their meals served. So we do meals served per labor hour work analysis, and that's how we determine adequate staffing within our schools. And so they've been kind of understaffed for meals per labor hour served, and so he's recommending that we add a 5.75 hour per day employee, so just under 29 hours a week for the 21-22 school year. So that would be another cook at the high school to help bring that number down from, what is he trending? Should be, he's over 30, and it should be 27 or so to adequately staff and create better efficiency over there. And now that they have more space to do so, they can add a body. So it was getting pretty tight. So recommendation to add that position for 21-22.
So are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, then that will be on the agenda for the next meeting in July. And I believe that concludes our reports and discussions. So consent items. We have 12 items this evening for your consideration. Unless you have any items that you would like to have pulled out and considered separately, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Anita, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Chris. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda items as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Then, boy, we almost could have a record, but we have a closed session. We'll move into board member reports and discussion. I'll call on board members and see if they'd like to present any comments or committee reports. So first would be Anita.
Thank you. I wanted to congratulate the track and field participants at state and the girls softball team for getting as far as they did. You know, I know when you get that far and you don't progress, or you're at state and you don't get on a podium, most of the teams in the state don't get to the level that you guys were at, or that the state track kids were at. What an honor. So you should feel really proud of yourselves. I was pretty proud. And then also, I don't have any committee reports, but I wanted to remind everybody that there's a Summer Leadership Institute in Green Bay on July 24th, put on through WASB. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to go. I don't know if anybody else is interested in going, but Stacy could register you if you are. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Chris?
I too would like to extend my congratulations to the softball team and the track athletes. And then the other thing I would just like to mention is, piggybacking on Julie's comments tonight, the district is currently offering breakfast and lunch to any student within the district under 18. So you don't have to be a school board or a student of the District of Holmen, just have to live in the village to go to the high school and get breakfast and lunch Monday through Thursday. And then check out the Nutrition Services Facebook page for the menu. So.
Yeah.
A nice little benefit we have in our district here over the summer.
It is. Thank you, Chris. Rebecca?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, Brian?
Nope, I don't have anything either.
Emily?
I don't really have much, just I was gonna talk about softball and track, and so yeah, it was pretty cool, you know,
Yeah.
being there, like first time Holman's been that far in over 20 years, so that was pretty awesome, like even if we didn't win like we wanted to, and you know, it was pretty tough, but we had a summer league that just started, and I was talking to other girls on my team, but they go all over schools, Bangor, West Salem, Onalaska lacrosse, and they're talking about how cool our weight room is and everything, and I just brag all day about how cool our weight room is, and like we have our nasty programs in the morning, and I was talking to some of the like teachers, coaches who are like monitoring that area, and I'm sure nothing will happen this year, but I think it would really be cool if we could like lower the prices of like the nasty program, because I know like we have to pay for insurance and paying like those like moderators or whatever you want to call them, but I mean the nasty program is a pretty expensive program for like some young kids, and I don't know, I think that if we want to really like make our athletic programs like more successful, making more teams go to state, I think it'd be a cool opportunity for our NASty program to, you know, be something that more kids can enjoy and get better from. So
And what does NASty stand for the public that doesn't know?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Some strength training.
Yes,
Yeah.
something, yeah, strength and training.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
Well, thank you. Jennifer?
Yeah, I guess I just want to also congratulate the softball team and the track athletes. I remember the days when we would go to state for our sports, and it's a pretty cool experience, so.
It is awesome. Gary?
I too would like to celebrate the successes of the athletes and thank the softball team for such a great run. It was fun to watch them on TV when I couldn't get to the games, but I got to watch the one here, and it was pretty darn exciting. It was good to see them. It was a lot of fun. And then the food service program, what they're doing this summer for the kids, seems like that's pretty awesome. You're talking about the weight room. I work with one of the wrestlers from UWL, and they come here and practice sometimes, and they say our facility now is a lot better than a lot of the universities have as far as the weight room and wrestling. So we're pretty lucky.
Is that it, Gary? Thank you. Yeah, we are lucky. We have a community that's very supportive of us, and I think we all recognize that, and so we appreciate that. I would also mention that someone had a kind of a big birthday not too long ago, you know, hitting that, is it the 7th decade or something? So 70, happy birthday, Gary. Congratulations. So just for the record, I'm not the oldest one on the board. And that Royal team too, I was gonna say,
Yes, we did.
their track team didn't they win?
The girls' track team won state title, yeah.
And that is Gary's alma mater, so I know that because I grew up in Cashton and we were rivals sometimes, so. Anyway,
Foil's better.
yes, I would mention, and Francis, you know, it was good to see you, you know, you usually made some routine visits. I know as far as the finance committee, we have tried to recruit more community members and we want to do that. But I can guarantee that almost every meeting, there's a presentation like we had tonight from Julie about our finances. And so even though we have that finance committee, they can't approve anything. It has to come before the full board. And we have multiple presentations on the budget that we're looking at that starts on July 1st throughout the year. So the board, while we may not take the action at that committee level, we do take action at the board level. And the process for us is to have a presentation on some of those things at least twice before we vote on them so that we can ask questions. So, but I appreciate you always are bringing that to us and sharing that, and that's okay. So it's good. It shows you're paying attention, out there paying attention. So, and at the last meeting, I noted that we were going to try to do a board workshop, and I was just looking at my schedule and calendar, and I'm thinking probably not till August. And maybe that third Monday in August, Dr. Mueller, I don't know if that interferes with back to school yet. It would be an evening, and it's a Monday, so I know a lot of us keep Mondays pretty open. Committees wouldn't be starting yet and that sort of thing. So let's just, if we could, take a look at that, and then Stacy can reach out and check your availability since you'll have your vacation stuff all scheduled. So that's all that I have. I would just note that we have a meeting coming up on the 12th of July and the 26th of July, and so that is really all. We do have on our agenda to go to closed session, so Nita, if you wouldn't mind reading that motion to go to closed session.
Sure. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby moves to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, in this case, discussion of interest in the potential sale of a district-owned property.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. We will need to do a roll call.
Okay. Anita Jagosinski, yes. Chris Lau?
Yes.
Rebecca Reber?
Yes.
Brian Wopat?
Yes.
Jennifer Deek?
Yes.
Gary Dunlap?
Yes.
And Cheryl Hancock.
Yes, so the motion has passed, so in just a couple minutes while we clear the room, we will then reconvene in closed session.